Hi guys, I'm Nick and today I'm gonna show you my life right here in the best and most luxurious area in Phuket. This place was built to attract millionaires, so life here can get insanely expensive. But relax, it's not as nearly as much as you would expect, especially living the way I do. Simple, healthy and close to nature. Now you must be wondering, what's so special about this place? There's barely any traffic, it's super pet friendly, everything is green, walkable, the beach is still unspoiled, and the most important, there are no crazy tourists around. So, can you actually live here without spending a fortune? And what are the major downsides of life in Phuket? We stayed in 4 different condos, so watch until the end. Some things might seriously shock you. First, let me tell you how I feel about Phuket. This used to be the place I hated the most in Thailand, and honestly, it's still not my favorite island. But if we are talking about long-term living and convenience, here in the southern Thailand, you won't find many better places. But let's focus on the good things first. I guess most people would rather stay somewhere close to good hospitals, maybe international schools, places where there's always something happening, a bit of nightlife, good restaurants, shopping malls, and a good chance to meet like-minded people and to socialize, and my personal favorite, the option to escape into nature whenever you want. The biggest mistake people make with Phuket is not understanding the locations. This island is huge, and it honestly feels like 5 completely different islands in one. The north is less developed, cheaper, quieter, and way less touristy. The beaches feel more wild and untouched, but the water isn't as stunning as in the south. You're closer to the airport, but far away from many events, so yeah, life in northern Phuket can also feel a bit lonely and boring long term. But I like it, especially Nai Yang and Nai Ton. If you're looking for a peaceful, easygoing lifestyle, life there can actually be really good. Now the East Coast. This is probably not the area where you want to stay. It's more local, mostly fishing villages and piers, and honestly, you won't find any good beaches there. Then you have Phuket Town and the famous Old Town. Great cafes, restaurants, malls. It definitely feels more local, with really good night markets and decent rental deals. But you're far from the beaches and the traffic is an absolute nightmare. If that's the kind of lifestyle you're after, you'll probably enjoy Chiang Mai way more. The best beaches are definitely on the west, but expect million sunbeds, jet skis, loud music, and tourist prices. Welcome to Bang Tao. This is the only location that really fits my lifestyle perfectly here in Phuket. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I'll explain. Bang Tao is the most luxurious area on the island, but somehow we found a way to live here comfortably without breaking the bank. Okay, first, I'm gonna show you what a regular day here looks like and how much money do we spend. Then comes the best part. We'll stay in 3 different places. My personal favorites. Quality and comfort you get for the price here is just absolutely insane. Let's start the day. As soon as I wake up, I usually head to this amazing long beach nearby. Maybe for a walk, some cycling, jogging, or even jungle hiking. So yeah, just something outdoors to start the day right. Honestly, this area has absolutely everything. And if the morning is rainy, no problem. We'll go to the gym, join a yoga class, do a quick ice bath, or just chill by the pool. Life here is really convenient. Most mornings we stop by Coffee Talks, a small local coffee stop with amazing Arabica beans from all over the world and the sweetest Thai couple running the place. Some of the nicest people we met in Thailand. They're fighting to survive versus all those huge, fancy, ultra-expensive cafes in the area. So, support a small family business, drink real coffee, and save a ton of money.
Is a Brazil and Ethiopia special act, but make you great day.
But if that's not your vibe, there are many other places. Expect to pay around $3-4 for a coffee and somewhere between 7 to 10 for a breakfast like this. After breakfast and our morning routine, we usually head back to the condo. The place we rent has a big modern co-working space included in the rental price. So we spend there most of our working hours. It has meeting rooms, small studios where you can record voiceovers, printers, fast Wi-Fi, basically everything you need to work comfortably. There's a good cafe to grab drinks and free drinking water. And since we are already here, I think it's the perfect time to show you around. Just a quick note, they are not our sponsors. We pay for every place we stay. This is Homm. Why did we choose this place? First, it's pet friendly. This is actually pretty rare here in Thailand, and the main reason why we never lived in such a good place before. We always had to choose house or some low quality condo. Second, the location is just perfect, close to the beach and everything we need. And third, you get so much for the money you pay. Truly amazing gym, co-working space, pickleball court, gaming room with ping pong, pool table, PlayStation, plus a proper infinity pool where you can actually swim, together with a rooftop, with barbecue and a little bar. Starting price for a place like this is around 24,000 Thai baht, which is roughly $700. But all of this is included. So yeah, you can really live in one of the best areas of Phuket without spending an absolute fortune. But listen, if you can add another 700 on top of that, then you can really live like a king here. Just avoid real estate agents. If you don't trust me, just watch this until the end. I'll show you the best place I ever stayed. But first, let's quickly get back to our daily routine. Then we'll try to live like millionaires and to see is it really worth it. Now it's lunchtime, and we mostly cook at home. I explained why in detail in my last video, but of course not always. So around here, you'll find a huge selection of both Thai and international restaurants. If you eat local, expect to pay around $4 or $5 for a proper meal. If you go for Western food, usually at least $8 to $10, and don't expect big portions. They are quite small and in my opinion way overpriced. But don't forget, you're in Thailand. Food delivery here is very simple, fast, and almost free. I mean, delivery fee, not food. Even something simple like pizza for two easily costs 20-30 bucks. So yeah, instead, we often order grass-fed steaks from New Zealand or some wild-caught fish and quickly make it in the air fryer with salad, rice, or sweet potatoes. So in total, we spend around 10,000 Thai baht monthly ordering some premium groceries from abroad. In this area, you're gonna find many good supermarkets, like Tops. With good location comes bad prices. So if you're buying fruits and veggies, always hop to local green markets instead, easily 10 times cheaper. Here we just grab things like cheese, milk, sauces, and other small things. That's monthly around $100-150. I know this is all a bit confusing right now, but don't worry. In the end, we'll calculate everything together. Now it's the time for my favorite part of the day and the main reason why we live here. In the evening, we usually go for an hour of sauna or a massage. Then we head out for a walk. Honestly, in Thailand, that's normally either impossible or stressful. But here, it's actually easy and enjoyable. And that's why we love this area so much. There is something special about living by the sea and getting those magical sunsets every single day. Usually, we grab a coconut shake and relax in one of the beach cafes. And for dinner, maybe we'll stop by the night market, one of our favorite evening activities here. Sometimes if you're in a mood for something a bit fancier, there are some really nice jazz bars around here, and the prices are surprisingly affordable. So we'll end up the night in style, a glass of wine, Italian food and timeless music. So, purely for research purposes, of course, we stay a couple of nights in two more upscale places to show you what kind of lifestyle you can get here for about $1,500 US. This is Laguna, Phuket, and it's basically a huge luxury lifestyle area centered around Bang Tao Beach. It's known for high-end resorts and modern condos, golf courses, beach clubs, lakes, wellness centers, and really good infrastructure. The whole area feels cleaner, more organized, and more international than most parts of Phuket. You can walk or cycle between cafes, beaches, co-working spaces, and restaurants without dealing with too much chaos or traffic. Expensive by Thai standards, but for many people, it's one of the few places in southern Thailand where you can genuinely enjoy a high-quality, long-term lifestyle. Okay, the first place we stayed at was Cassia. Located right in the heart of Laguna, Phuket, it has colorful, modern rooms with kitchens, a lively social scene, beautiful infinity pool overlooking the lagoon, a good gym plus outdoor fitness area, and even a free boat shuttle to a private area of Bang Tao Beach. The second place where we stayed is Homm. It's more spacious, with apartments overlook the golf course, lagoon, or lush tropical garden. It's right opposite from Cassia, and they also provide you a free shuttle to the beach. This place is very cozy and actually livable. This is so beautiful, guys. I think this is the best place we ever stayed. So amazing. Okay, not gonna lie, I could easily live here long term. But keep in mind, the places I show you today are still only the cheaper luxury options here in Laguna. So if your budget is not limited like mine, there are some absolutely insane places around here you should check out. I still think Homm has the best price-to-quality ratio, especially if you're a digital nomad and want to meet other expats living here in Phuket. We decided not to stay here long-term. And before I tell you exactly why and all the downsides of Phuket, let's first break down our total monthly cost of living. Sorry guys, just one more thing before we start. I want to show you one more condo in the same area that we recently discovered. This is Hill Myna. It's cheaper than Homm, and the apartments are more spacious and surprisingly good. But the gym and pool are pretty bad, so yeah, for us, Homm is still the winner. Price is 20,000 Thai baht a month. The location is very good, still quiet, with nice mountain views. Now let's finally see how much money you actually need to live here in Phuket just normally, comfortably, without crazy parties or happy ending massage. Let's put on paper the biggest one. That's of course our condo. We pay Homm around 30,000 Thai baht in total. But honestly, it comes with so many things included, so we are happy. In the end, it's actually a really good deal. Next thing I have to mention is travel and health insurance. But in this case, a normal insurance probably won't work for you. Southeast Asia is a wild place. After everything I experienced, this is now the most important thing for me. So we've been using SafetyWing. It's made specially for digital nomads who travel a lot like us, and it costs only around $62 for 4 weeks, but covering you in more than 180 countries. So you just subscribe and jump from place to place with peace of mind. You can even buy it while already abroad, cancel anytime, so no worries. We're using their essential plan, and it covers all the most important and most expensive things. They also agreed to sponsor this video, so big thank you to SafetyWing. Food is always the most complicated topic. If I eat outside, on average, I spend around 250 Thai baht per meal, but I always make at least one big meal at home every day. So for eating out, I spend around 15,000 Thai baht monthly and around 10,000 for making these giant steaks at home. That's about $750 for food in 1 month. But if you're planning your food budget right now, better put around $1,000 just to be safe. Cause in the mornings, I just eat fruit and drink coconuts or smoothies, which are actually really cheap here. Then I usually make lunch at home, and then later we go out for a nice dinner. Between that, I sometimes snack on nuts or grab something small at the local markets. I only drink 1 coffee a day, so let's say that's around 100 Thai baht, so in total 3,000 Thai baht per month. Of course, you can go much cheaper than that, but I really enjoy high quality coffee and it's an important part of my routine. Laundry is usually cheap, not more than 1,000 Thai baht a month. You can do it yourself or just use a laundry service in your building. Here where we live, drinking water is free. But even if it's not, you can use those reverse osmosis water machines. They are everywhere. 200 baht a month will be enough. A SIM card with unlimited 5G internet is usually not more than 500 Thai baht a month. From my experience, AIS is the most reliable. But if you're planning to change countries more often, ESIM is the most convenient option. Haircuts and other small things during the month come out to around 2,000 Thai baht. Spa centers are usually not more than 4,000. And groceries, like we already showed you before, come out to maximum 5,000 Thai baht per month. Renting a motorcycle is also around 4,000 or 5,000, plus petrol not more than 500. Dating and social life, let's say twice a week, will probably cost you another 15k. Now finally, this is probably the biggest expense we have while living in Phuket. And it's not what you think. Living here puts you super close to so many world-famous destinations. One weekend you can spend on the PP Island and some of the best beaches in the world. The next weekend you can be in Khao Sok National Park, a rainforest even older than the Amazon, trekking in the lush jungle or exploring this stunning lake. Khao Lak is also nearby, famous for hidden beaches, islands like Surin and Similan, and some of the best scuba diving spots in the world. This island is our favorite weekend escape. This is Koh Yao Noi, and it's only around 30 minutes away from Phuket. It's such a little peaceful paradise you have to experience. What else to say? You can spend a day with elephants, do bamboo rafting deep in the jungle, explore viewpoints, take hundreds of different boat tours, and so much more. So yeah, we spend around 10,000 Thai baht weekly doing things like this, which comes to almost $1,000 per month. Of course, man, you don't have to do this every single week. On Phuket, you'll find so many stunning beaches to explore, plus beautiful viewpoints and some really nice waterfalls. And if you want something more authentic, slow and peaceful, the east side of the island is surprisingly beautiful. You can spend the night in a cozy wooden bungalow tucked deep in the nature like this one. And it won't cost more than 50 bucks for 2. Now let's quickly do the math. This is basically our total monthly cost of living here in Phuket, including visas and pretty much everything. If you're planning to live here, prepare to spend at least around $3,000 per month. Together with Koh Samui, Phuket is the most expensive place in Thailand. But in order to know is it really worthy, we'll have to mention all the major downsides. Okay, a super big downside is obviously the price. And it's not just about rentals. Now, during the rainy season, you can still find some good long-term deals. I showed you that in my last video. But in general, this is still very touristy place, so expect to pay 2-3 times more for most things than you would almost anywhere else in Thailand. And it's also insanely crowded. Northern Phuket is a bit better, but if you want to explore the most famous and beautiful ones, expect loud music, insane prices, jet skis everywhere, and literally millions of sunbeds. From November until May, almost every beach is packed. Then comes the rainy season, the next big downside. The weather is very hot and humid, and these days it rains almost every hour. But it's not just normal rain. The storms here are insanely loud, so rain hammers the roof all night long, almost every night. So if you're a light sleeper like I am, it becomes really hard to sleep properly. Some years are better than others, and nobody can tell you exactly how it's gonna be like. But in general, expect to be hot, super humid, and way rainier than you probably expect. Underwater currents here are also very strong, so don't even think about swimming if the red flag is up. Even if you're a professional swimmer, don't compete against the nature. Every year people ignore it, and yeah, accidents happen quite often. As you can see, one time I was also very stupid and almost lost my life. Flood is also very common, especially in September and October. But if you want to live in the tropics, you'll have to embrace things like this. My first rainy season here, I always felt very tired and low energy. My dog was coughing. Of course, I was blaming gloomy weather and lack of sun, but the main issue was actually humidity. Then we bought this machine, the humidifier, and it truly helped a lot. So if you're planning to live here long term, you should definitely get one. Of course, rainy season still gives you many beautiful moments too, but you have to be located in the good area. Traffic here is really scary. Here in the south, drivers can be super reckless. Roads get quickly chaotic, and every time you go out, you're kinda gambling with your safety. And if you don't use a motorbike, you'll spend hours in this mess. Taxis are ridiculously expensive, public transportation is honestly terrible, so the best strategy is probably to stay around one area and to avoid moving around as much as you can. Another huge downside for us is construction and overdevelopment. In most parts of Phuket, construction is getting completely out of control. There are beaches and hidden spots we used to love visiting that are now basically destroyed by massive hotels. So before you sign any contract, make sure it's quiet. Another thing I don't like about Phuket is the lack of real foreign community. Let me quickly explain. Yes, you can still meet people from all around the world, but the vast majority of the island is occupied by Russians. And that's the fact. And really, nothing against them. But if you're an English-speaking person, it can sometimes feel surprisingly lonely and disconnected here. You'll find digital nomads down near Hawaii, which is a bit more isolated and not the most beautiful in my opinion. But if you're a younger person, this area is great. Also, if you're into Muay Thai and other martial arts, Phuket is probably one of the best places in the world for you. Other than that, there are not many events and everything feels very shallow. So either it's money-grabbing, wellness business promotion, or random Russian pool party, bikini contests, and stuff like that. After spending a few years in Chiang Mai, this was honestly a huge shock for us. So we decided to try our luck somewhere else.